So Babel.js is running out of money. For those of you who don't know, Babel is a JavaScript compiler or a transpiler where you enter a code that's not yet supported by a major JavaScript browser or a proposed JavaScript feature, and it will compile it down to a version where all the browsers can run. And this has been the cornerstone of a lot of web projects today. And a lot of time you're using it, but you don't even know it, such as Next.js or Create React App. This is all running underneath to compile the code into compatible JavaScript. You can check it out on the website on babel.js.io. Now, the news today is that they are running out of sponsors and they are running out of money. So right now, they have a couple of big company sponsors like Airbnb or Facebook open source, where they are pledging a couple $1,000s a month for the projects. And right now, currently, they are about 3 team members who are working on it. So recently, a new blog post came out mentioning that they are actually running out of money. So currently, they are getting about a couple $100,000 a year, and they are paying the founder. I guess Henry Zhu was the first one who wrote Babel.js. He is the core maintainer, and they paid him $11,000 per month as salary. So Henry left his job in order to work on this full time. I have personally met the guy a few times in my office. He seems like a really pretty cool guy, really really smart. So they are running on money, but there are new team members there, so they need to expand the funding to pay them as well. But right now, they've been paying them about $2,000 a month. Now, it depends on where you live. If you live in a city like New York City, where everything is expensive, the rent is expensive, the food is expensive, $11,000 a month is pretty standard for a tech person. So this is actually lower than some of the salaries that people are getting if you work in tech. So for Henry to settle on $11,000, I don't think it's too much. But at the same time, a lot of people may be wondering, why are we paying somebody $11,000 for a project that's essentially global? So you don't really need to live in New York City because they don't really have an office. They don't really have like a business in New York City. So they don't really need that person to be in New York City, right? But again, we don't want Henry to relocate because of this project. If he wants to live in New York City, we should let him live there. So having paid him $11,000 over the years, Babel is kind of running out of money right now because of the pandemic. In 2020, the donations decreased. So what's going to happen now is that they are asking us to get more funding for them. So if you do use Babel, please like check out their fundings page. So they have like GitHub sponsors. Feel free to donate to the project if you are using it. So some of you may not know that this project has 28 million downloads just in the last week alone, and it has been going on at this rate for such a long time. And like I said earlier, this is used in almost every single major boilerplate platform. So I really hope this project gets funding. And I know there are a lot of people discussing, hating on, oh, why is he getting this much? He only made 6 commits last year on the projects. I think like coming from like business standpoint, I think it's really important to know that part of your job is not just to write code and commit stuff, because when you're maintaining an open source project, you have a lot of code reviews that you have to do. You have figured out a way to get funding for the project in order to help people who are contributing to it. Right now, I think paying people full time for it, because they are pretty much the most knowledgeable people about this project, and to continue pumping out features for Babel and to pretty much run the JavaScript world, I think it's worth it, and I think we should definitely donate more money to them. Sure, I agree to some point that this money may not be well managed, but I think it takes a careful balance to fund a project like this. So currently they're at $205,000, so they just need $3,000 a year to pay $100,000 to each core maintainers. So we do have a lot of sponsors down here, but sponsor plans out here. So it's up to us to maintain a project like that, to make sure this project stays. because the alternative is that we will have to make this project paid. So I don't think that's the thing we want to do for a project like this. So hopefully we all come together and help out the project.